Welcome back, fellow fixing engineers, to Constructive Chaos. It's your general supervisor here, Phoenix, and bringing you another episode of How to Satisfactory 1.1. In the last episode, we learned how to make explosives, how to use explosives, and we reconfigured the base of our space elevator tower, while also taking a small glimpse into the blueprint creator, as well as how to make better angled foundations in the game. Today, we're going to dive into more tower construction as we set up a transport hub here at the base and start bringing in materials to get ready to start completion of Phase 2. So, no more beating around the bush. I'm short on time and you guys have waited long enough for this episode, so let's get to it. So first things first, let's gather up everything we need for today's build. I'm going to start by heading over here to my storage box and I'm going to grab any extra tickets that I have in here. Going to need those. Then I'm going to head up here to the Fix-It shop. At the Fix-It shop, I want to go into, I believe it's walls. And if you don't already have the door walls, we're going to purchase those. And I'm also going to go ahead and grab the tilted walls. Going to cost you a total of 7 tickets. Now we're going to be building a couple of truck stations over here. So let's go ahead and go into our build menu and go down to transport. Let's click plus on the truck station twice. And make sure that we have everything we need right there. Let's see, I am short on modular frames, so let's go upstairs and grab some of those. It's always handy to have some extras. While you're up here grabbing the modular frames, go ahead and grab yourself some rotors too. And oh yeah, one more thing you're going to need is a single motor, which you craft here on the workbench. That's going to be for making an elevator stop. Once you've got your motor, we're going to need 6 AI limiters too, so let's make sure we make those. We're going to need those for our smart splitters. Next, I'm going to put away anything I don't need. Sulfur, coal, black powder. I basically just want to make as much room as I possibly can in our inventory. And it actually might be time to go ahead and make another personal storage box. Now let's grab lots of concrete and lots of iron plates because we're going to be doing a lot of foundations and walls. Then, let's head over to the space elevator tower. Alright, once over here at the tower, the first thing we're going to be doing is a little bit of demolition work before we reconstruct some stuff. So, we're going to hop up here, and on each of the corners right here, what we want to do is take these out. And we also want to take out these foundations right here. And then we're going to take a 4-meter foundation. We're going to place it on these bottom ones right here. Make sure you hit R to turn your zoom mode to vertical. And we're just going to lift these up into the spot that it was right there. And then come over here and do the same thing on this corner. And then that should equal out evenly. So if I jump over here, you can see that it's completely even with that floor right above us. Now I'm going to do this on each of the corners all around the building here. So again, the next thing we'll do is head over here to the other side to do that, and we'll take out these two, take out all of this, copy one of those, place it right there, and push it up into place. So like I said, just do this on each of the corners all the way around our tower. And when you're done with all of the corners, it should look like this. So now the next thing we're going to do is go over here by the elevator. And then the next thing you're going to do is grab a ramp, make it a 1-meter ramp by hitting E, and then make sure your zoop is on, and we are going to zoop these down to about 3 levels. Go to the other side of the elevator here, do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Place a 4-meter foundation underneath of the ramp right there. And then bring that out about 2. And then bring that over. And just kind of complete the rectangle here. Actually, we can make this just a little bit bigger. Let's go 3 instead of 2 away from the corner right there. Then grab your 1-meter ramps again. Bring them down here to the edge. And we are going to run it all the way across like that until we get to the ground level. So we want to make sure that that's actually going into the ground so that our trucks don't have any issue like just kind of popping off on the edge right here, or flipping over or anything like that. Come over here to the other side and we're going to do the same thing. And the reason I brought this out just one more foundation is because of that rock right there. I'm not sure if I can get rid of that rock. Let me see here. If we can get rid of that rock, that'd be great. Let's try it. No, that rock doesn't move. So we're going to bring it out to 3, and then that rock will just be there, I guess. Not a problem. Now, right here where our elevator is, what I'm going to do is grab one ramp right there. I'm going to put it right on the edge of the foundation in front of the elevator, like so. Just want to bring that out about 1. And then let's grab a regular 4-meter foundation, and we're going to put that right there in that spot. So now we can walk in between these 2 ramps and get down to the elevator. I'm probably going to change this later, but for now, that's good enough. Alright, so now we need to fix the floor. All of this in here, we're going to make a level below and have this level right here where our trucks and stuff are going to be unloading at. So let's grab a foundation, and right here on the left hand side of the elevator, this is where we're going to start at. Let's change that foundation into a 1 meter. Make sure your zoop is on, and we're going to zoop that out to 5 right there. And then this one here is going to be 6. So we're going to go 6. And then this one is, I guess, going to be another 5. And then coming over here, this one's going to be 6 to there. And then another 5 over here. Once you get all of that floor in, we're going to go over here to this. Again, that's the left-hand side of the elevator. So jump over to this section. And we're going to connect all of these pieces right here. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 until it connects into that, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3. Oh, you get the idea. We're just going to keep going up until we get to that middle rock right there, and then once you get to that, this should be the middle part right there, and then just kind of bring it over and just kind of do that. That should be fine. And then we got this little section in here that we need to fix. So let's do this one from this corner. Actually, no, let's do there. We'll move that into that. And that finishes that off right there. So now we have a floor in here. And then we're going to go one more over this way to here. Again, going to grab that floor, find our middle point, which is right here. Go 6. All the way over, and then 5 or 6, one or the other, doesn't really make a difference. Just make sure that your floor is going in and everything is kind of making a little bit of sense right here. If you have any gaps, just come up here and figure out the best way to get it. Like this one here would be right there. I have a gap right here that I can fix, which is going to be connected onto that, like that. And then just go ahead and finish all of the floor just like that. Alright, once we have our floor all the way in, we have a base foundation here to work with. We're going to go behind the elevator and 1, 2, 3 foundations right here where this rock is at. And then let's get us some walls. So we're going to go into construction build menu, go to walls, and feel free to use any wall you want. We're going to place 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. So it's going to be 3 across. And then we're going to come down here, and right here you can see there's an intersection where these are going around. What we want to do is just, again, we're going to take 1, 2, 3. And if we turn zoop mode on, this should be easier. And we're just going to go all the way around the giant rock in the middle, just like that. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And I mean, you guys get the drift at this point, right? So we're going to go all the way around that. And now what I'm going to do is we're just going to cover up the middle rock right there in the center, and we're just going to keep going these all the way up like that. So I'm going to do this, and I will see you guys in just a moment as you guys do the same thing. And now, as you can see, we no longer have to look at that ugly giant rock that's right in the middle of our space elevator. It is now gone. Now, once again, we're going to go to the left of the elevator to this section right here. We're going to find the middle. And again, we're going to go with the ramps this time around. Let's make sure we get the 2 meter may work, but let's go ahead and use the 1 meter ramp right there. And we're going to go all the way to the ground as far as you can go. And we're going to do this on the left-hand side of that middle one and the right-hand side of that middle one, all the way down to the ground. Now what's going to happen is our trucks are going to come up this way. They're going to unload right here, turn around, and they're going to go out that way by the elevator. So the elevator will be the exit from here. Now, grab yourself one of our walls, bring it down here to right to the left-hand side of the middle foundation right there, and then hit H to lock it into place, and we're going to move that over to the middle of that foundation right there. And then we are going to put 3 of these in right here, 1, 2, and 3. We're going to put one on top of that one and one on top of that one. We're going to leave that middle space open right there. We're going to come over here to this side, and we want to make this about 1.5 foundations long. So if we put this right here and then move in like that, and then we should be able to get that one right there in there. And this next one, we are going to have to put H to lock it into place right there, and then move it back until it lines up with that wall there. There we go. And then we're going to just push that up to a second layer like so. There we go. Now let's go into our build menu. Let's go to transport. Let's grab that truck station. We're going to place it, we're going to turn it around so that the loading mechanism is right there, and hit H to lock that into place. And we're going to move that into position so that it is just behind that wall right there and right in the middle. So again, like I said, the trucks are going to come up this way. It's going to unload right here. Let's try to get that as close to the edge as we can though. So if you hold down control and then move that over, you can get it. See right there, it's too far past the wall. If we move it back one, that'll be perfect right there. Place that in, and there is going to be our unloading station for our main center here. Let's go ahead and put the walls all the way up there, all the way up to there, and we'll put one right there in the middle. Alright, now let's go into our build menu, go to walls, grab the 4-meter tilted wall, which is new for us right now, and we're going to place that right on top of that middle wall right there, so that it looks like it's going behind the actual unloading station right there. Go into walls once again. Now we have the doors right here. We have a center door wall and a side door wall. I'm going to use the side door wall right here on this one. If I hold control down, you can see it's placing it. So we're going to replace this wall segment. Moving my mouse wheel, I can turn that. As you can see right there, I'm going to put that right there. And now we can go behind right here. And again, we're going to grab these walls and let's place these kind of right in the middle. So I had to get it right there, lock that into place, and then push that over until it's right up against that wall like so. There we go. And we're going to zoop that all the way up to the top. We're going to come back here on this side and we're going to do the same thing. Lock that into place and move it over until it's in where we need it to be. That's right there. And then we'll zoom that up all the way to the top. And then we're going to place another one right on top of that tilted wall right there and up. So now if we come back over here, we can see other than the roof right there, that is perfect. We have a nice little center right there. I think it looks pretty good, or it will look good once we're finished. But for now, we just want to make it functional. Now, once again, we're going to grab our wall. We're going to come down here to the edge right there. Hit H, lock that in place, move it over to the middle of that right there. And we're going to do the same thing we did over here, except without the loading stations. So we're going to place down that wall, do 3. And then as you can see, we need to get that one and then move that over to there. And then we'll take that, lock that into place so we can move it over to get it just against that right there, like so. Come over here and get these into place, if I can, right there. And then we're just going to cover this all the way up to the top, all the way around. And now with that in there, we have a nice little entryway right here for our trucks to come through. I'm going to go ahead and finish this one off so that we have it all the way done there as well. There we go. So like I said, the truck's going to come up, it's going to unload, and then into this. This is going to send up to sorters above into storage. And then we even have a nice little access door right here so we can get behind this. This way we can do our mergers, splitters, all that stuff like that we need to do. It's going to work out great. And one of the reasons why this video has taken so long to get posted is because of this right here. I just had so much trouble trying to figure out how I was going to do this and make it look good and functional and all that. And then one night I was just messing around trying to try to figure out what I was going to do with this, and it hit me and I was like, yes, this works. This is what we're going to do. And now that we have this side over here done, we're going to do the exact same thing over here. So come over here, find your middle foundation right there, grab a wall, come down here, lock that into place, move it over halfway right there, and then zoop that to 3 right there. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to place 1 there, lock that one in so we can get that to halfway right there. And then all we have to do is just finish this off right here, which sometimes can be a little tricky. There we go. Same thing on the other side, so halfway on that foundation right there. 1, 2, 3. And if you don't have a foundation here in the floor like this one, then just go ahead and place one right there. Come over here, and we just need to get that in there just about right. Right there. Push that back. And then there. And just get your placement just about right there. Lock it down. Move it over to meet that one. There we go. And much like how the loading bay is right next to the elevator on that side, we're going to do the same thing over here. So we're going to put that up to the ceiling. There we go, up to there. And then on this side, we're just going to cover all of this up right here. So that one is completely self-contained. Come over here, and you know what? Let's do another one of our transport hubs right here. Let's get it down where it's kind of right in the middle right there. That's good. And then we will push that back. And then hold down control to get it just where we want it. Not too far. There we go. Right there. Lock it into place. And then we'll use our arrow keys to maneuver that where we want it. So one more back right there. And that's right in the middle. That is perfect right there. And then we'll just take these, put them over top of it like that. Another 4-meter tilted wall right in there. We'll grab that side door wall and put it in right here. This one's going to be a little more tricky though. Let's see if I can get that right. All right, just holding down control will work. And replace the wall. There we go. Come in here. And we just got to put this in here so that the walls all match up. Right there. All the way to the ceiling. Come back over here to this side. It's a little more tricky here. If I delete one of those foundations right there, that actually is letting me do what I want to do. There. Alright, hit H and move that over into place. Perfect. And up. And then we'll place another wall on top of the 4-meter tilted and go up to there. And that should take care of everything there. If we come over here to the other side, yeah, that looks pretty good right there. Now I'll just finish off all of this section right here. Put all of these walls up to enclose it in. There we go. All right, we are now done with this floor for the moment. All right, now we need to put in an elevator stop from this floor to that one right there where our central storage unit is going to be. So let's head into our build menu, go to transport, find the elevator floor stop, and then just position it so it's right there above that floor line right there. Turn it so that the doors are facing inward. And we are done. All right, now let's head up to that floor. We'll call the elevator down, hop into the elevator, and hit E up there on the second one. That will take us up to this floor. And now we got some work we got to do in here. So we're going to remove all of these foundations holding up the 2 floors right in here. And we're going to get rid of all of the foundations that are not on the edge. So all the inner ones, but leave the edge ones right here. So just like this is what we're going to do right through here. And get rid of these all the way around. What I would do is get rid of the side foundations first, as many as we can reach right here from where we're at. And then we'll go into the middle, get the rest of them right in here, like so. Alright, and then when it comes to these floors, just kind of highlight one. And if you hit G, you get a dismantle filter. So now we can head back over here to where the elevator is, and we can just start dismantling everything. And just hold down Control, and you can select everything that's in your path. But if by holding the filter that we just did, the dismantle filter is set for that 1 meter foundation. See how I'm like hovering over this stuff? And we're not getting any of that. That's what we want. Alright, so let's go ahead and get to the rest of these. And remember, you can only dismantle 50 items at a time. So this can be a little bit time consuming. If you accidentally dismantle one of the sides, just go ahead and place that back in there. And then continue your work. Alright, now with all of that floor removed, we need to place down new flooring, considering we redid all the sides right through there. So we'll take the 1 meter, and we'll just start building towards the center. We can go about 10 from the center all the way. And then on these, and then on our sides right here, we want to find the middle, which is right here. And then just go until we hit the middle right there. And then just kind of fill in all of these blanks down through here. Like so. And then just continue going all the way around this ring until we get the floor completely done. Just making sure to kind of get only the parts that need it. And if you haven't picked it up yet, underneath of the middle right here on top of this rock is another one of our yellow slugs. So I'm just going to go around here. We'll grab that real quick. Jump back up here, and we will fill this back in. Alright, now, just like we did on the floor below us, what we want to do is grab some 4 meter foundations. And right here on each of the corners, we're going to place those up vertically until they touch the floor above us right there. On both the corners right there. And then we're going to go all the way over here, all the way around this, on each of the corners, doing this. So up, and right there, and up. And we'll come over here, and just do this all the way around. So now our second floor should look something kind of like this. Alright, so now let's set up our first set of storage organizers. So what we're going to do is let's grab a door frame wall with a center on it. Find the center foundation right here on the right hand side where the elevator is. So there's the elevator. Come to this section. Come about 3 out. And let's place it right about there. Now grab a regular 4 meter basic wall. And we're going to place one there and there. And we're going to come down here and do another 2 down here. And then we're going to bring that to the wall right there. And then come down here on this side, and we are going to just put one right here on that corner right here. So like that. So what this is going to do is kind of look that way. And another one, let me grab that door right there, place the door there, and then 1, 2. Now let's head into this first section with the door right here. And what we want is we want to go into the build menu, go to organization. Now we're going to use the regular storage containers here, not the industrial, but the regular storage. And we are going to find a nice place to put this right here, which I think is going to be right there. Hit H. Now we want to make sure that the input is towards the back or towards the southwest, like that. And then, let's see, let's just get that kind of right in the center. That's good. And then we're going to move that forward a little bit because we want it away from this foundation. We want room back here to work with. But we also need room in the front to work with as well. So let's do something like, yeah, maybe something like this. So I'll have it almost just a little bit off to the edge. So it should be, that right there should be lined up with that foundation edge right there. However, as you can see, the white line is not. The white line is just over it a little bit. That should work. It is in the middle. Alright, so we'll place the first one down. We'll come over here. We'll place another one down right next to it. And then a third one right next to that. Make sure they are right up against each other, leaving the center space here free. I'm going to come over here to this side, and we're going to do the same thing here. I will make sure it's there. We'll lock that into place. Get it. It is in the center, okay? And then we'll just push this forward until it lines up with those. That's good. And then place a second one and a third one on this side, right up against each other. There we go. And there we have it. That is our first section of containers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we come out, so if we do 6 here, 6 here, and 6 here, that is going to be a total of 18 storage containers on this side. We're going to do the same thing over there on that side, so we'll do 18 over there. We're not going to do that today, but, you know, I just want to do this first section for today. Alright, so next we need to get everything connected up, and to do so we're going to be using smart splitters. Now I have splitters and mergers set as number 5 on my hotbar, so I'm going to hit that. I'm going to hit E to change that over to a smart splitter, and I'm going to change the direction of this so the input is coming from that wall and the outputs are coming this way. So I'm going to have that, I'm going to place it right, see where that line is right here on this foundation, so not quite in the middle, but right over one, right about there. And then let's line that up so there the guideline is showing it's going into that storage container. So we'll have one right there, and then we'll put another one there, and then another one right here. There we go. Now I'm only going to do 3 for the time being because I'm not sure how all this is going to work in unison just yet to get all of our goods all the way around the building to where it needs to go. Right now I'm just concerned about getting our Caterium from there over to here, and maybe those parts from over there up here as well. So just going to do this one section right now. Now we need to connect all of these splitters together and then connect them into our storage containers. So I'm going to use a Mark III conveyor belt like that, right there. Connect all of these together. Then I'm going to pop over here. I'm going to remove this 4-meter foundation on the edge and the one right underneath it and the one underneath that one. And from there, I'm going to grab a 1-meter foundation, put it right there on top like that. Let's place and put a conveyor floor hole right in there. Line that up with that right there. And then put a conveyor lift on top of that so it's facing going towards this way. Make sure it is outputting. Now I'm just going to drop down. And down here on this section, we're going to come over here to the end of the truck station right here. These are the outputs right here. So again, we're going to put another floor lift hole right there in front of that output like that. Let's grab the floor lift or the conveyor lift right there. Hit R to reverse that. Connect them up with the conveyor belt. And I'm going to, let's see, let's remove this foundation here and the one underneath of it as well. We're going to place a 1-meter foundation right there. And let's do a floor hole right there. Let's see, so I need to make sure that is lined up right there. That is good. And then let's run a conveyor lift from there down into there. Fantastic. We can drop down here now and just connect these two guys up. So I will place a conveyor lift on the bottom of it. And one right here. Turn it this way. And then we're going to use our conveyor belts and make sure you have it set to straight build mode. So I'll hit R to do that. And that conveyor belt is going to take all that straight into there. That looks great. Alright, so I'm just going to get out of here now. And we can go ahead and place that stuff back together if we want. I'm going to hold off on that. I'm going to leave that open for the time being. Let's hop up here. We need to get back up to the next floor. So let's go up. Go up to our second floor right here. Back over here, and we just want to run a conveyor belt from there into that, and then we'll place our foundation back down there like so. And I don't like how that looks, so I'm going to take a basic wall, put it right here in front of that, Let's go into our build menu. Let's use one of our new things we got in 1.1. It's under logistics. It's the conveyor wall hull. And I can just take and place that right there and make that look so much better, doesn't it? Alright, so now I just want to get in position for our smart splitter. So the input's here, coming in that way, going that way. So I'll look this direction, hit E. Now my left is that way, so that's going to be nothing that way. The center output is going to be overflow. And the right is going to be our quick wire. So I'll go ahead and put quick wire in there like that. There we go. So now what will happen is our truck will bring the quick wire over. It will then unload it. It's going to bring it up into here. It's going to come through here. It's going to hit this smart splitter first, offload it all into that storage container. And then the rest of it, any overflow. So if there's any other items or anything, it's going to go this way into our smart splitters. You guys should know how this works by now. Alright, we'll drop back down to the ground. I'll go ahead and take that foundation there, put it there, and I'll put another one right on top of that, like there. Alright, that looks pretty good. Oh, I gotta put that one back in too. There we go. Alright, so all the works are covered up. You can't really see how everything is doing its thing, but it is doing its thing behind the scenes. Alright, so now we need to get some power over to our truck station right here. So first, what I'm going to do is go into our build menu. I'm going to grab the double wall outlet Mark 1. I'm going to put that right on the back of that wall back there. And then I'm going to connect that to the truck station. Alright, then let's go to the back of the station here. And I want to grab that. I want to place another one somewhere over here. It won't let me, so I'll put a wall right there and right here. Then we'll copy that and we'll place that right there on that wall somewhere, right about there. Let's connect those two up, there and there. Copy that one real quick, come down here to the bottom, hit E to change that over to a single, and then let's bring it down. So now I can connect that wire up to the inside of that wire if I can. Won't really let me do it, so I'm going to take out that foundation right there, and then I just have to reach it. So if I back up, there we go. So I connect that down to that, and then put our foundation back in to hide all that once again. Now we do have power coming over there, so what I will probably do is find a way to connect all of that together, and I'm not really too worried about how this looks underneath of here right now at the moment, so I'm just going to connect that. Let's see, I'll run this over here somewhere. Let's run that all the way over here to the other side, right about there. And then from there, I'll go underneath of here, and I just need to connect it up to that. So let's do something like this. Let's connect it right. I want to go a little higher than that. Let's go up to here, and then connect that wire to that pole right there. And at some point, I really got to come back here and like redo these wires to make this look a little better. But that's going to be a future episode. Again, I just want to make sure and get everything working, and then we'll do detail work. Alright, so we have power to the truck station. The next thing is we need to get a truck bringing the quick wire from the power plant over to here. Now, before I go all the way over there to start construction, let's make sure we have what we need. So let's go into... let's see, transport. I'm going to add one truck station and one truck. Make sure I have everything. Check marks across the board. We're good on that. But we also are going to need more concrete foundations. Let's see, plenty of concrete. We are low on the iron plates right here. We only got 18 of those guys left, so we're going to need some more of those. Good thing I figured that out before we headed all the way over there, because that's a long way back. Alright, let's head over here. We'll grab what we need. Alright, I'll grab a couple of stacks of the iron plates. I also only have 2 obelisks left, and we may need some more of those so that we can blow up rocks that are in our way. Let's grab some sulfur. I believe I put mine in one of my boxes down here. There we go, sulfur. Also going to need coal and steel tubes. I only have 1 left, so I'll head over here, grab some steel tubes. Head to the workshop, and let's make some black powder. And then I'm going to make myself about 25 obelisks. Alright, time to make the long trek over to the power station. Going to make a stop right here where our ramp is. We're going to make a stop right here where the up and down ramp is here for this lower level. And I'm going to take out these rocks right here and that rock right there, because that is going to be in the way once we get everything done. So I'll get that. And let's get these guys over here as well. I'm going to place this one like right in the middle. Should do the job. And kaboom. Alright, now that's all out of the way. Let's also go ahead and make some more 1 meter ramps coming down just to kind of make this a little bit bigger here. So from there, make sure Zoop is on, and then down to the ground. That looks pretty solid. Alright, onward over to the power station. These rocks right here also might be in the way, so we'll go ahead and take them out. And all these rocks over here will also need to go. And the ones on the left-hand side, too. Alright, that's enough rock. Let's move on to the heavy metal. Now, in order to make this work, we are going to have to take out the current coal line that we have running back and forth and redo that, as well as set up an entire new line, bringing the quick wire all the way over to the tower. So I'm just going to hold off a minute, going to wait for our truck to get back over here, taking the coal back and forth. Ah, here it comes now. Let's let it make its drop off first so we get plenty of coal here while we're working. Alright, once it starts to take off, I'm going to hop in, stop it, hit Q, and disable autopilot. And then I'm going to drive it out of the way here real quick. So let's get it down in here. We'll be fine for the time being. Alright, now that's out of the way. Let's hop off. First thing we're going to do is we're going to expand this out by about 3. So let's grab one of these 2 meter foundations right here. And I'm going to run that, let's see, 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to run that back as far as I can here, which, let's see, should be to right about there. I think that's there. Let's find out. All right, let's see if we run that way. Yeah, all right. And then let's fill in the blanks. All right, that should expand out all of that platform right there. Well, let's get rid of the modern railings. I'm going to use the filter again here, so I'll hit G with the railing highlighted. Now I can only delete just the railings. That's what we want. And then we're going to rebuild those railings back over here, like so. And then we got to put some more ramps in down here, so we'll do that all the way down. And let's get on the edge too. We don't want any gaps. We'll take care of this side as well. We're going to need to bring a truck up this way as close as we can to the wall. So yeah, that should do it. Alright, let's go ahead, disassemble the truck station right here, as well as the conveyor belt. And we're going to leave that splitter. Well, actually, let's redo this splitter here real quick. So I'm going to take that one out, get these belts too, right there and there. Copy, and we're going to turn this guy. So let's see, let's get him rotated the right way. So we want the input coming from that direction in. So we're going to place it like that. And then put our belts back. And now what's going to happen is the truck station is actually going to unload straight into this instead of coming around this way and in. Alright, let's place down the truck station and lock it into place with H so we can nudge it where we need it. So first of all, I'm going to line it up with that splitter right there. So we'll bring that in. There we go. So that output is now lined up with that. Alright, quick change up in my plans. Instead of having the truck come in and coming up this way and going around towards and leaving through the middle, I'm actually going to have it come up the middle, turn around, and leave through the side. I think that's going to be better, so that's how we're going to do that. So let's go ahead and put it kind of as close as we can get to that right there, but we do want it right there. So let's go ahead and put that in there. Excellent. Alright, so our truck will come up this way, unload, come around, and then we're going to have it go down the middle right here. Let's go into architecture. Let's grab some road barriers so we can actually like tell it where it needs to go. Not a ton of space on this foundation, so I'm going to take a half a foundation right here and let's put it up that way. So I'm going to start right here, turn these to Zoop, and let's run this up this way. Let's do it to right about here, about halfway that way. That's probably pretty good. So the truck will come up around this way, and then let's see, the middle will probably turn, probably go out. We'll use these two for an exit, which means I need to bring these guys in. Let's kind of do the same thing here. Let's do about a 1.5. Let's do here and bring it all the way back to where we had it here. There we go. All right, so that's going to be the exit. These are going to be the entrance, so turn around. All right, now let's copy the truck station, and I'm going to place this down right in front of it right there, but hit H to lock that into place so we can line that up. The road barriers won't let us line things up over there. Once we pass this here, I'll nudge this back so you can see. So you can see the guideline right there, right? So it's lined up. As soon as we pass the road barrier, nothing. We get nothing. But we know that that's lined up, so we want to keep it right where it's at on that axis. And then let's move it all the way over here. And then we need to have it, so let's see. Let's bring it in right about there, I think is probably good. So that's about as much space as we have over here, right? So it's right on, it's kind of right across the line. That's fine. So about 1.5. Yeah, that's actually perfect. So we're going to place this one down right here. Now the quick wire route will come up through here, load, come around through here, and exit the same way that our other truck does. So pretty much right through the middle is my plan. All right, let's get some temporary power hooked up to our coal line. Get that up there. There we go. And let's get our coal truck back and running so we can make sure we keep the lights on here. All right, hop onto our tractor, hit Q. First of all, we're going to delete the current path, turn our truck around. We're going to get into position. I'm going to start here at this one. So we'll come over here and then hit Q once again, hit start recording, and then hit Q once again so that we don't have that in the way while we're driving. And then we'll record our pass. So we'll come up here. We're going to turn it around. We're going to go straight out the middle right here. And then pretty much going to do the exact same thing we already had this set up to do. I apparently missed a rock right there, but it's not too big of a problem. Now we're going to keep this going up the ramp on the right-hand side. We're going to come over here. We're going to load up. And then we're going to head this way, out, around the rock, back towards the ramp, and going down the ramp, we're going to keep this on the right-hand side, same thing. Up the middle of that, we're going to put in some railings or something so that we can separate the roads right there. Around the R node, just keep your paths separate so that our trucks don't get into any kind of collisions. We don't want that. Up the ramp right here, and done. All right, now we'll turn on autopilot, jump off, configure truck station. This is going to be an unload spot right here, so we'll make sure we have that. And now that truck should be doing its job and bringing the coal and stuff in. All right, so now we need to get the quick wire from those top storage containers right there across and into this truck station right here. The way we're going to do that is we need to make sure that we have enough space here to get it across. So let's do, I'm going to copy one of these 4-meter foundations right here. I'm going to place it down right about here, if I can get it on top of that. Build mode is vertical. 1, 2, 3. All right, now we're going to come back here behind the truck station. We're going to grab one of our conveyor lists. We're going to put that right on the bottom node going into the truck station right there, the bottom input. Click. Now we're going to lift this up so that it lines up with those storage containers on the very top over there. And each time we lift this up, it's going to be 1 meter. Now, it's already about 4 meters tall right now, so we need to get it up another 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That should be 8 meters right there, as long as everything is correct in my math. Let's hop up here and get on top of the truck station and then carefully walk our way across to get up here. And we're going to take a conveyor belt. We're going to bring it straight across and connect it about right in the middle right here. And from there, we should be able to connect straight up to one of those guys right there. That one right there will work perfectly. It's over top of the truck station down there. Yep, and here comes the quick wire down the line straight into that. All right, we'll delete that conveyor support right there. We'll drop down. We'll delete all of these foundations we placed up there. And that's going to be the input now for our quick wire going into the station. But neither over there at the space tower or here do we have any fuel for our truck. So we need to get some fuel in here. Let's come all the way over here and let's do this. So that should be lined straight up right over here with this. So what we're going to do is let's take a conveyor lift. We'll connect it to that right there. Let's bring that up about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll just do the same thing. We'll bring it up about 8 right there. Let's come over here to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And this one's closer. This should just connect up, but let's make sure here. Bring it all the way over. Yes, it just connects right in there. All right, and then that's going to grab some of the coal coming off of that, split it over, and bring it over to this one. Are going to need a little bit of power for this truck station here, so I'm going to just connect a temporary line from here over to, I have a couple of different spots I can do right here. I'm going to do it straight up on that one right there with a connector on the top right there. And you can see here now it does have power. It's green. The quick wire's going in. We need a little bit of fuel in there, but we should be fine for that. All right, we're going to configure this truck station for load, which it already is. Now let's build ourselves a truck. So transport tractor right there. Let's turn that around so it's going the opposite direction. We're going to be driving it in that way. I'm going to let this tractor here move out of the way. We'll let it have enough time to get maybe halfway before we actually start this. But I'll place it down there. Let's go ahead, open the crafting bench on the back. Now we should have some coal in here from where we moved the coal run over there. Put that in fuel. Hop on the tractor. And let's see, we're good. Yeah, I think we're good right about now. So let's go ahead, hit Q. Start recording. Q again to take that menu off the screen. We'll bring it around. We'll turn. Bring it right out the middle. And we're going to follow the same path that the coal run takes. Up the ramp on the right hand side, and this is where we're going to deviate. We're going to turn to the left instead of the right. We're going to go up into the space tower. We're going to stop here, and then we're going to take off again. Bring it around, slow and steady, wins the race. Don't want to make any mistakes because, you know, these are pains to have to rerun all the time. Bring it down and then out. And then we're going to stay on the right hand side and follow that path. Basically following that other tractor. And then once we get to right about here, we are going to deviate. And we're going to go in this side. Alright, now we are good. Let's go ahead and turn on autopilot. And jump off. Alright, there we go. There's our lines. Alright, so the trucks will stop for each other. That's good. We want that. So now everything over here should be working. We should be taking our Caterium, unloading it over here. I keep calling it Caterium, but it's technically it is Caterium. It's a Caterium quick wire. But you guys get the understanding here. So we're bringing the quick wire down, and we're unloading it over here. And we're not going to do anything with it yet, but at least we got this ran. Something I meant to do, I don't know, about 5 or 6 episodes ago at this point. Now there is this little rock here that I apparently missed, so I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that. Clear all of our path right there. We're going to head back over here to the space tower, and let's go ahead and click on this one, configure it for unload. We want to unload everything here. Now at this point we just want to lock it up, so let's go ahead and take some basic walls and we'll zoop those up to the top. And we'll make sure we get these here too, which I got to move it over just a little bit. There we go. And there. And we'll come over here. We'll do the same thing. Just lift that up to there. And hit H. Nudge it over. And up we go. Alright. There. Now we have all of our trucks and stuff working. So, as you can see, the main tower complex is finally coming together. Next episode, I'm going to start adding the different wings to it for assembling the parts that we need to complete Phase 2. Automated wiring, smart plates, and versatile frameworks. The transport hub at the base was a huge logistical and design nightmare for me, but it is done now, and honestly, I'm pretty happy with the results. I'll be happier once it actually looks better, but hey, that's a problem for another day. And with that, this episode of How to Satisfactory 1.1 is in the bag. We've built stuff, fought logistics, probably cursed at belts a few too many times, but progress is progress. If you've had fun watching, smash that like button like it's a power slug, and subscribe for more factory chaos, design disasters, and occasionally actual progress. Got tips, questions, or you just want to scream about spaghetti belts? Drop a comment down below. I read every single one of them. Join the Discord if you want to hang out with fellow pioneers, share screenshots, or start cults around your favorite biomass burner. Links to everything is in the description below. So, my fellow Fix-It engineers, thanks for watching, and remember, if it ain't automated, it ain't finished. Catch you next time.